Thomas Alva Edison, a name the world will never forget. A man who transformed darkness into light, silence into sound, and imagination into reality. But behind the legend was a boy, curious, restless, and misunderstood. His story is not just about inventions, it's about a relentless spirit that saw every failure as a step forward. Let's explore the life of the man who lit up our world. Edison was born on February 11, 1847, in Milan, Ohio. From his earliest days, he was an insatiably curious child. He didn't just want to know how things worked, he wanted to know why. His mind was a whirlwind of questions, a trait that didn't sit well in a structured classroom. His teachers found him difficult, easily distracted, and unable to follow lessons. One day, a teacher lost patience and called him addled, a harsh word meaning confused or muddled. When his mother, Nancy Edison, heard this, she refused to let such a label define her son. She saw the bright, inquisitive mind that others missed. In a bold move, she pulled him out of school and became his first and most important teacher. At home, under his mother's guidance, young Thomas thrived. He devoured books, especially those on science and history. His home became his laboratory. He wasn't just reading about concepts, he was building them, testing them, and bringing ideas to life with his own hands. This freedom to explore, to question, and to experiment without judgment ignited a lifelong passion for discovery. By the age of 12, Edison's entrepreneurial spirit was already shining. He took a job selling newspapers and candy on the Grand Trunk Railroad to earn money for his experiments. But he didn't just sell papers, he decided to make his own. Using a small printing press he set up in a baggage car, he started the Grand Trunk Herald, a small weekly newspaper filled with local news and gossip. This was the first newspaper ever printed and published on a moving train. It was a remarkable feat for a boy his age, showing his blend of ingenuity and business sense. However, his real passion remained in his makeshift laboratory on wheels. He filled the baggage car with bottles, wires, chemicals, and all sorts of equipment for his scientific pursuits. He was in his element, surrounded by the tools of invention. But one day, disaster struck. While the train was moving, a bottle of phosphorus accidentally fell and started a fire. The conductor was furious. He put out the fire, threw all of Edison's equipment off the train, and kicked him off at the next station. It was a harsh lesson, but it did nothing to dampen his curiosity. If anything, it fueled his determination to find a safer, more controlled way to continue his work. The incident taught him about risk, but it never taught him to stop trying. During his teenage years, Edison faced another significant challenge. He began to lose his hearing, likely due to a bout of scarlet fever and recurring ear infections. For most people, progressive deafness would be a devastating blow, a barrier to the world. But Edison saw it differently. He didn't view it as a tragedy, but as an advantage. He often said that his deafness helped him focus. It shut out the distracting noises of the world, allowing him to concentrate deeply on his thoughts and experiments. He learned to listen not with his ears, but with his mind and his intuition. This unique perspective turned a potential weakness into a powerful tool, enabling a level of focus that would become legendary. As a young man, Edison's skill with technology led him to become a telegraph operator. It was a perfect job for him. He worked long, quiet night shifts, mastering the rhythmic language of Morse code. These silent hours became his prime time for invention. While others slept, Edison tinkered, built, and refined his ideas. At just 22 years old, he made his first major breakthrough. He created an improved stock ticker and a duplex telegraph, a device that could send messages over a single wire at the same time. This invention was not just a clever gadget, it was a highly valuable piece of technology. He sold the rights to his inventions for a staggering amount of money, which gave him the financial freedom and the confidence he needed to pursue inventing full-time. With his newfound wealth, he moved to the bustling heart of innovation, New York City, and established his very first laboratory. With his success growing, Edison decided to build something truly revolutionary. In Menlo Park, New Jersey, he established a new kind of facility, one he proudly called an invention factory. This wasn't just a workshop, it was a research and development lab on an industrial scale, the first of its kind in the world. He assembled a team of talented engineers, mechanics, and researchers. Together, they worked tirelessly, often around the clock, with a mission to produce a minor invention every 10 days and a big thing every 6 months or so. In 1877, this factory produced something magical. Edison unveiled the phonograph, the first machine capable of recording and playing back sound. The public was absolutely stunned. When they heard a machine speak a recorded voice, it seemed like sorcery. They started calling him the Wizard of Menlo Park. The phonograph cemented his fame as America's greatest inventor. But Edison remained humble about his process. He famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." For him, success wasn't magic, it was the result of relentless hard work. Next, Edison turned his attention to one of the greatest challenges of the age, electric light. He wasn't the first person to invent a light bulb, but all previous attempts were impractical. They were either too expensive, didn't last long enough, or were too dangerous for home use. Edison was determined to create a light that was safe, affordable, and long-lasting for everyone. The key was finding the perfect filament, the tiny thread inside the bulb that glows when electricity passes through it. So, the great hunt began. He and his team tested over 3,000 different materials. They tried everything imaginable: bamboo fibers, cotton threads, horsehair, and even fishing line. Each failure brought them closer to the answer. Finally, on October 22, 1879, they tested a filament made from a simple piece of carbonized cotton thread. They turned on the power, and the bulb began to glow. They watched, holding their breath. It glowed for an hour, then 2, then 10. It stayed lit for over 13 hours. They had done it. This was the breakthrough that would banish the night from cities and homes forever. The world would never be the same again. But Edison knew that a light bulb was useless without a way to power it. So, he didn't stop. His vision was much bigger. He went on to design and build the world's first central power station, an electrical grid in Manhattan, a complete system to generate and deliver electricity directly to homes and businesses. His work continued at a furious pace. He developed the kinetoscope, an early motion picture camera that laid the groundwork for the film industry. He made significant improvements to storage batteries, cement manufacturing, and mining technology. Over his lifetime, Thomas Edison was granted an astonishing 1,093 U.S. patents, the most for any inventor of his era. His legacy isn't just in the sheer number of his inventions, but in the profound lesson he taught the world about failure. He never saw setbacks as the end. For him, they were simply part of the process of discovery. He once famously remarked, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each dead end was a new piece of information, a step on the path to success. Thomas Edison died in 1931, but his light never faded. His spirit of relentless curiosity and unyielding perseverance continues to inspire innovators and dreamers everywhere. Every lamp that shines in the dark, every movie that flickers on a screen, every voice recorded and preserved through time, each carries a spark of the boy from Ohio who refused to stop asking why. Thomas Edison was more than an inventor. He was the man who lit the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of a true visionary, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the people who changed our world.